Excellent. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the Yes Fest virtual pitch event. We have some fantastic entrepreneurs here with us today. Excited to hear their pitches. We already have over 20 people here. Please introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're from. How'd you hear about Honeycomb? What was your first investment that you made, maybe? New York. Hello, Katrina. So we're going to get started here in about just a minute. New Jersey. First investment was in Aquaba. That's fantastic. Aquaba is based in Philadelphia, but I believe that they have a location in New York as well. Great to see you. New Jersey. Okay, California. Excellent. People are coming on. Oh, Brooklyn, New York was their first location. Fantastic. Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. To kick us off this morning, I'm extremely excited to introduce our co-founder and CEO, George Cook. He is a sixth generation community banker and the visionary behind the platform that you're about to experience. So before the founder's pitch, in honor of our seventh anniversary, seventh year in business, he's here to share a bit about where we've come from, where we're headed. And I'll let you take it away from here, George.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna Marie. Excited to be here. Excited to watch these pitches. So I will keep my comments brief, but just so excited to be celebrating our seventh birthday, especially with all of you and with all these incredible pitches. Wanted to share a little bit about how Honeycomb got started, what our vision is, what we're trying to do, and where we've been recently. It seemed appropriate for our seventh birthday to think about our very first offering, our very first campaign we worked with. This is Naomi. She runs a phenomenal business here in Pittsburgh called the Pittsburgh Juice Company. When we met Naomi, she was just crushing it. Things were going really well. She had just turned her first profit. I think she was about 2 years into business. And her product was so popular that people across the city wanted to buy her cold pressed juice. Which, of course, as a raw product, she needed a refrigeration truck, she needed some additional equipment, she needed some working capital to make all of that happen. And her vision really required about $35,000 of capital for her to take her business to the next level. And as you can imagine, like most entrepreneurs, she didn't just have $35,000 laying around in her checking account. So she explored her options to get funding, right? She looked at micro lenders like Kiva and the Hebrew Free Loan Association. The local Pittsburgh government has a small micro loan program. And while all of these are phenomenal programs, she realized that she had outgrown these. Her business was just a little too far along. She looked at online lenders, merchant cash advances. A lot of people are taking out loans through their Square terminal or their Toast terminal, their PayPal. But she read the fine print and realized the loan was going to be quite expensive. In fact, a study came out recently that found that these Square and Toast and Merchant Cash Advance loans, the average APR comes out to 94%. So they're extraordinarily expensive for small businesses. And finally, she talked to a couple of banks as well, but realized her business wasn't quite there yet and that she needed such a modest amount of capital that banks weren't going to take her seriously. A lot of banks told her, let us know whenever you need $500,000. So here's this profitable, growing business beloved by the community with no real place to turn to get a relatively modest amount of capital to take her to the next level. And sadly, this is not a Naomi problem. This is happening across the US economy, right? Half of businesses in the United States report having a capital need every year, but they're too discouraged to even apply for capital. And two-thirds of the ones who do apply for capital get less than they're asking for or get turned down outright. And this data is from the Fed. You take that all together, and this is about a $600 billion a year problem that we are underserving across our economy. And that's where Honeycomb comes in. We have built this community capital platform where independently owned businesses can borrow from customers and fans and friendly strangers on the internet and people who want to see them grow and thrive. Businesses get the capital they need to take those next steps while simultaneously people can earn returns while supporting entrepreneurs and communities that they care about. We helped Naomi. She got her truck. Things are going so well. She actually paid back her loan early because her business is doing so well. And that's a story we hear over and over again, right? Businesses, when they raise capital through Honeycomb, it's more than just a capital campaign. It's also the ability to tell their story, to generate marketing buzz, to get new people to learn about their business, and to level up existing customers. And we're actually seeing that year over year after running a Honeycomb offering people see a pretty significant increase in their annualized revenue. So we are 7 years in now, and to date we have moved almost $45 million across our platform with 25,000 investors on the site, more than 500 loans, and people are earning real returns by investing in locally owned independent small businesses. What's more, we're putting money to work in communities that traditional lenders have a tendency to overlook. 85% of the businesses we've worked with are women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, and/or based in low to moderate income communities. And more than half of the businesses we've worked with, we are the first true loan that they have taken out for the business. Couple highlights over the past year. Firstly, we launched a mobile application, and if you haven't already downloaded the mobile app, I strongly encourage you to do so. It's on both the Apple and Android stores. It is such a convenient way to browse for offerings, to learn about businesses, and with a couple clicks of a button, you can be invested. It's so seamless. We also acquired a couple of companies. We acquired a company called Raise Green. We had surveyed dozens of our investors. We talked to so many people, and one of the things we consistently heard is they care a lot about local. They also care about the impact of the investments they're making, and climate is a big focal point for them. So by bringing Raise Green into the Honeycomb portfolio, we're able to now serve a lot more climate-related projects to help people invest in environmental and green causes in their own local community, as well as these independently owned small businesses. We also acquired a company called I Fund Women, IFW. IFW has an incredible programming of reward crowdfunding for earlier stage entrepreneurs. It also has some coaching tools, workshops, and grant programs, and a whole suite of kind of wraparound technical assistance programs that will allow us to serve businesses more holistically throughout their life cycle. So taking it all together, what we've learned over the years is that entrepreneurship is hard. The entrepreneurs you're about to hear from, the challenges they face every day are incredible, but they just grind, right? They're such inspiring people. Main Street entrepreneurs and just kind of watching them is the reason we get out of bed in the morning here at Honeycomb. But we know entrepreneurship is expensive. We know it is technically challenging, and we know it can be really lonely. And so, what we're trying to build at Honeycomb is really this central place where businesses can come for the capital they need, but also the coaching and tooling they need and the community they need. And that can translate into growth and sustainable small businesses in our communities. So I will now turn it back over. I'm excited to watch these pitches. If you haven't done so already, here's the QR code to download the mobile app. But Anna Marie, I'll turn it back to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, George. I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to start the pitch event. So the first person that will be presenting will be Stuart Kong. So I'm going to pull up the screen now. Okay. All right, Stuart, take it away.
Now I'm unmuted. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Stuart Kong. I am the executive and artistic director of the Queen's School of Jazz. I'm really thankful to be here after hearing George's opening statement. I can really relate to a lot of the things he said about the example he used. I forgot the name of the business, but um, I'm a startup, so the vision here really is to start this music school in a county in Queens, New York, where none has existed before. I mean, we have Louis Armstrong, who's buried just a mile away from me here in East Flushing. Countless jazz musicians who are legends have lived here in Queens. Yet there is no school of this scale that can provide access and affordability to the general public. So I have a program here at the school that brings in the community to join one of two big bands, one for students who are in high school or middle school, and the other for adults in the evening. We have a year-round band camp program that meets on Saturdays. And this will really serve the interests of the community by bringing people together with a common interest, the desire to play jazz music, which very much aligns with the things we go through in life. So we're using this school really as a mentorship opportunity as well. Um, and Honeycomb comes in because we have a great retail component to the school. We do need to make money. And by the way, so far in the 12 days that we've had this campaign with Honeycomb, we've raised enough money to fund two full-time scholarships to students at the Louis Armstrong Middle School here in Corona, Queens, as well as Forest Hills High School. Without Honeycomb, I could not have done that because as a startup, unlike the story that George was telling, I hadn't made no money yet. I have barely, you could see behind me, this room costs $4,000 a night. And I'm only using this for the pitch, but I have to put on concerts 3 times a year as well. So it is really, really critical for this school as a startup, as actually filling a need in the community to have the money to run the day to day, as well as funding these scholarships. So really to clarify, to really put the mission in focus here, it's really, it's all about access and affordability where none existed before. If you think about Wynton Marsalis, I used to work with him back in the 1990s when I was a jazz festival producer in California. I learned a lot from him. I saw his vision for what he did and what he turned it into at Jazz at Lincoln Center. However, what I'm doing is a little bit different. I am trying to address the marginalized, let's say, in music, those who have not been able to go into a conservatory track program, those who have just dropped the instrument after a few years, and then maybe like many adults, they want to get back to it. This school is designed for all of those people who want to come to a safe place and to really be mentored. So we have a need. We have already in our staff a Grammy mentor who is a pianist, a jazz pianist. We have a lot of jazz masters who are locals to Queens. We need to pay them as well. So the way it works is we have all year round band camps, 40 students, for each cycle. There are 3 cycles. You do the math. I mean, we charge $900 per head. Um, in 1 year, that will cover all of our operational expenses. And we also offer classes to the entire public that are basic jazz listening, jazz history, and jazz theory classes. And to really round things up, we have an early childhood learning class for pregnant women, as well as kids up to age 4. So we need all of this money to fulfill the mission, not just long term, but right now. This is the time. No one else was able to say yes to me, but Honeycomb did. And I saw so far money that came in that's committed that, quite frankly, I really had no expectations, just so that I wouldn't be disappointed. But I am not disappointed. I'm really, really excited to keep pushing forward. Um, as far as what the money's being used for, other than what I mentioned, we do need to buy a drum kit. It's about $5,000. You know, the drum itself is like $400 used, but the cymbals could be like in the thousands. So we are really trying to get this business up and running, and with your help, I could really make this first year happen, going towards sustainability without even needing, hopefully, to borrow or any extra funds for this school. How much time do I have left? I only see a timer. Um,
Yeah, you're at time, so great work.
okay,
And now we
thank
can,
you.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And you can learn more about the Queen School of Jazz. We'll leave any questions open to folks here on the call. If you have them, feel free to put them in the chat. Um, any questions for Stuart before we continue? Okay, and if any questions come up in the chat, we'll also add it in. But okay, we have one. What's your favorite program, Stuart, that you do today?
The favorite program, I would say it's the big band and jazz combo workshops. Those are the core, that's really the core programming for the school. Without it, I don't think the school would exist, because when you have a big band of 15 students, two of them, one for high school and middle school students and one for the grown-ups, some magic happens there, okay? Because we have 30 hours of rehearsal over 10 weeks. You're using that time constructively. Plus, behind me is actually the auditorium that we will be performing in. This is a 2,000 seat concert hall. And as I said, 4,000 bucks a night is really expensive. But I know as a arts presenter, it's actually 20% cheaper than Carnegie Hall. And this is actually as nice a hall as Carnegie Hall, because I've listened, I played here before. So yeah, thank you for that question. It's a great question, because those two programs, that's where my heart and soul is, because I pour everything into these students, teaching them about swing and teaching them about life too. Because when you suffer, when you have joy, when you go through all of the emotions in life, you put it into the music, magic happens. That's all I can say.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Stuart. Next up, we have Jessica from Collection. I'm going to pin you now. Jessica, are you ready? And if you can unmute, that would be fantastic.
Good morning from the Willamette Valley of Oregon, bright and early over here. I'm Jessica with the Cortell Collection, and I have to say, Stuart, your project sounds fantastic. I love
Oh,
jazz. Maybe you
oh,
can
thank
come out and play some jazz out here with while we pour some wine.
yes.
So a little background on myself. I've always been a plant person, outside person. One day I got crazy and did a PhD in wine chemistry, but then I realized managing vineyards was where my heart was. So for 15 years, I've had my own vineyard management company, maybe the only woman-owned vineyard management company in the world, who knows? But we've managed many high-end vineyards all over the valley. And then I got another crazy idea to start a wine brand, which I'd put off for 20 years, knowing the high cash flow challenges. But in 21 and 20 and 21, I made a little bit. 22, 23, 24, I made 800 to 2,000 cases of wine. And all of the wines are made from grapes that my team grows. And we focus on organic and regenerative agriculture farming practices to help protect the soil and the climate. So actually here at my house, Carlisle's Crest Vineyard, I have 17 Kune piglets right now and 11 adults who graze the grass. They're grazers, but they actually provide fertilizer too. So they help promote soil health. Um, and I've also not cultivated the soil for over 10 years as part of the regenerative agriculture to help minimize carbon dioxide loss into the atmosphere. Anyway, so going on to the wines, we're focused on making the wines from vineyards we own, lease, or manage to make minimal input, vibrant, lively wines to get those out to you. So on the wine project, though, it actually is a 3-year time lag from growing the grapes to then making the wine, which is also expensive, to then keeping our Pinot Noir in barrels for 18 months. So that means there's a 3-year time lag from growing the grapes to actually getting the wine into the markets. So you're really not seeing a lot of revenue anytime soon. So no pun intended, that's where we hit a bottleneck on this project. And so this fundraiser is really focused on the winemaking side to help get the wines we have in barrel and in process finished and into the market. We also make traditional methods sparkling wine, and that is expensive and labor intensive because there's 2 bottlings. You do the tirage bottling where you add sugar and yeast and ferment it in the bottle. So it's like a 5-year timeline before it gets to the market. So for the use of funds, the majority of it would go to paying for the custom crush winemaking facility and winemaking staff. And then the glass bottles are about $1 a bottle. We are using some Ravino bottles, which are a new project of refillable bottles. That's the only sustainable use of glass. So we will continue to increase that use. Wine labels are about $1 a label. High-end corks are about $1 a cork. So you get the idea. You do a 5,000 bottle bottling, and it's, 5,000 bottles, it's $5,000.
With the school of.
We also use a custom crush bottling truck. So that is an additional expense in getting the wines finished. So that gives an idea of where the funds would go. The funds would basically help us get the 23 and 24 vintages of amazing wines and the traditional method sparkling wines finished and to you, the consumers. And then there's also challenges in distribution. So we have lots of great wine perks as part of this project. I'm going to plan a fun investor event out at my vineyard so people can come out and check it out next summer. So I really hope that you'll want to become part of the Cortel Collection community, because really that's where my heart is making this part of the community where everybody's welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. And I saw some comments in the chat about potentially getting together a Honeycomb Jazz and Wine Festival. So we'll see you out there in Oregon next year at the Honeycomb community.
For my launch party, I actually had opera singers.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. Great. Well, great job, Jessica. Are there any questions for Jessica? Feel free to put them in the chat. We'll give a few seconds here for some questions to come in. Otherwise, I have a question. The Willamette Valley is one of the country's best. Are your wines available for purchase online?
They are. You can purchase them through the Somsation website or also on my website. There are a couple states that we are not able to ship to because of the challenging distribution laws around the state, around the country. Somebody asked about what varieties are most popular in Oregon. We're a cool climate region, so we're famous for our Pinot Noirs, and the Yola Hills, where I am, is making world-class Chardonnay as well.
Fantastic. We also have another question. What is the most ideal grape to grow in Oregon?
In the Willamette Valley, the main one would be Pinot Noir.
Got it. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for presenting. Next up.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Majani Restaurant. It's possible there may be an error in or maybe a bug in the technology. So I'm going to continue on to Jenna of Later Gator Coffee.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenna. I own Later Gator Coffee Co. here in Austin. And Later Gator was born about a year ago now. And it was a way to honor my late grandma who helped raise me and my siblings in Louisiana. So she was really more like a parent to us. So losing her was really difficult. But, out of that grief was born something really, really cool. And, not only was it a way to honor her and our love for coffee, but also my roots in Louisiana. And anyone who has been to Louisiana knows there's a lot of amazing culture and food there. My grandma was always in the kitchen cooking. She made lots of really yummy desserts. And like I said, loved coffee. She actually raised me drinking coffee, arguably way too young. I had a little sippy cup and I would drink what was called coffee milk on the couch and watch cartoons. And coffee milk is basically what it sounds like. It's milk and sugar or cream and a little bit of coffee, just enough for a kiddo to get the taste of it. So yeah, that is where my love for coffee began. And just since losing her and starting this business, I have gotten to see how much our community loves, Later Gator, but also has an appreciation for Louisiana and these kind of nostalgic flavors. Being in Texas, obviously we're right next to Louisiana. So a lot of people have visited at least, or maybe are from there. So we get to talk about what it was like, being there and growing up there. It's been really incredible. The most incredible thing so far is that not even a year in, we've already opened our second trailer. So Later Gator is a mobile coffee trailer. We are more stationary, however. And what I really noticed is, although Austin has a huge coffee scene, there's, coffee shops on almost every corner, we do stand out. We're doing something more unique where the trailers are pink checkerboard. We have this super cute little Gator logo, if you can see that. My background is kind of blurry, but and it's just fun, it's vibrant, it's girly, it's cute, it's sweet. And that's something that honestly, at first I was a little bit worried about because, I know that people like cute and fun things, but we do stand out in the coffee scene here because a lot of people love their coffee, which, me too. But I was, maybe a little worried that people wouldn't appreciate what I was trying to do. And they absolutely do. People have just been incredible. The support's been amazing. We've blown up on social media, which was really the reason that I was able to hire earlier this year. I now have a team of 8 baristas, and it's all women. So we're completely 100% women owned and operated. One of the things that I've been so grateful for is that I can pay my staff above average pay here in Austin. And one of my biggest goals is just to continue to pay them well, provide benefits for them, continued education, and just, create this amazing opportunity for them. So a little bit more about how we are using the funds from Honeycomb. So obviously, as we've been talking about, starting a business is expensive and expanding is expensive. So refinancing some of the high interest debt that we've accumulated and just paying back the loan on purchasing the trailers and some of the equipment and inventory for the second location. When you purchase things like espresso machines, our coffee folks on here know that things happen. And, like you might purchase a machine, and I purchased a Slayer espresso machine, which is a really amazing brand, really amazing machine. And it was used, but come to find out there were a few things that had to be replaced, and it's just expensive. So just making sure everything's running smoothly in both locations, and that I can free up some cash flow to continue paying my staff well. And we want to do lots of community events. The second trailer is in a spot on South Congress in Austin where we can have events and host vendors. And we just want to continue doing that. And we want to continue being a part of the community in Austin and being a fun and sweet place for people to be. Thank you all so much.
Thanks so much, Jenna. That was fantastic. And agreed that I love your logo and I love the vibe of it.
Thank you.
You can scan to learn more about Later Gator Coffee here. I'll also open the floor for any questions for Jenna. And feel free as the entrepreneurs are presenting to ask questions in the chat as they're presenting, and then we can get to them also at the end here. Great. Looks like there may not be any questions right now, so we're going to continue on to Olympus with Charles.
Testing 1, 2.
We can hear you.
Hi, guys. First, thanks to Honeycomb for, putting this together and helping us out. It's incredibly nice of you guys. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. I've been in the guitar pedal industry for about 20 years. So has my partner. We both worked at some of the larger firms that are out there. And if you don't know what a guitar pedal is, if you've ever gone to a concert or watched a concert on TV, you'll see guitar players have stuff on the ground that they step on that changes the sound of their guitar. That's a sort of simple way to understand what it is. That market is worth about $4 billion a year. And that does seem like a lot, but when you understand that those can go for about $1,000 and people easily own, 10 of them, 12 of them, sometimes a lot more. And they buy them used, they sell them, they have them for a little while. It's a whole entire sort of universe of toys that these guitar players love to use and love to buy and sell. And that's what we do. So I was doing that for 20 years at a couple of big companies. And then 2 years ago, my partner and I started this company, and the idea was to try to not take ourselves too seriously. A lot of the companies that we worked for, they sort of pretended like they were making medical equipment or, airplanes or something. That's not really what we're about. We wanted to have fun with it. So we started, the first product we made is this guitar pedal that's absurdly small. In fact, I have it right here. It's this big. So the thing worked. It sold really, really well. A lot of early adopters bought our pedal, but pretty much no one really knows who we are yet. And that costs money. And so marketing is expensive, especially really good marketing. And for us to be able to work with, artists that'll do animation for our website and help us with marketing these products, it's kind of what we need cash for. And so basically, my partner and I put all the money in so far. We built 1,000 of these things, and I think we've got like 100 left or something like that. So they sold really well. The thing is, it takes a while to grow with just the revenue that you have ourselves. So what we want to do to keep the momentum going is basically have a second product, a third product. We've got them all mapped out. It just, again, costs money to do these things. So a run of 1,000 pedals costs like 20 grand, and that's kind of what we were hoping to raise here, and it looks like we did it. We did it pretty quick too, which is amazing to everyone involved. But the more money we raise, basically, the more products we can develop and sell, the faster, and the more money we can spend on marketing and advertising. So that's me. That's what I'd love to take any questions. I'm happy to talk about pedals all day. Yeah.
Awesome.
As a non-musician, can you tell me the importance of a pedal being so small? It's not important. It's silly. In fact, we have, if you Google us and you look at some of the photos, we sold earrings that go with the pedal so you can wear them as earrings. It's just, someone said it, they said, it's not a joke, but it is funny. As a result of it being so small, there are some sort of outliers that have done silly things, like they'll mount it to their guitar, or they'll hide it underneath another pedal. So it's not a technical improvement. Actually, to the point, it's an extremely common circuit. That sound, without getting too into it, it's a tube screamer. It's exactly that tube screamer, but it's just much smaller. So it's not functional. It's just silly.
That's fantastic. And Charles did show me the earrings. And for all those who wear earrings on this call, can confirm they're extremely cute. Well,
Cool.
awesome. And if you want to learn more about Olympus, please you can scan the QR code and head to Charles's campaign here. I have some folks that are raising their hands. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. As we're in a webinar functionality, I have another question for you here, Charles. What's your favorite band to use your pedal?
That's a really great question. Having been in the industry a while, we know that famous people don't put their name in there. They have their friends order it. So I don't know who has one,
Interesting.
but I know that there's a creator called Emily the Harpist. She is a harp player that uses guitar pedals extensively. And she has a pair of our pedals, and every time she creates content with it, my heart goes out, and the numbers of sales that we have goes up. And she also wears them as earrings, which is hilarious. So that's my favorite artist that has our pedal.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Charles, and exciting stuff. All right, next up we have Keith from Poor Boy Coffee.
Hello. Let me
Hello.
rearrange myself here.
What'd you say?
I'm rearranging myself here. Cool.
Oh, good.
So yeah, my name is Keith Smith. I'm in Savannah, Georgia. Those of you that aren't familiar with Savannah, we're pretty famous for being haunted. So I've kind of, having grown up here, I've got a little experience in everything. So I've been a barista, a bartender, a cigar salesman, a car salesman, a painting instructor. I've worked in radio broadcast. Um, I was a tour guide for a while, so I did the ghost tours downtown. I've been all over, done a whole lot of businesses, and it was around 2021. I had a little boy, a little 2-year-old little boy, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my career that I would have enough time to be with him. So I decided I was going to start a coffee trailer. So similar to what Later Gator was talking about, but mine is a little different in that we're not stationary. So my coffee trailer is, I hook it up to my truck and I drag it to events. I did that for a year. All throughout 2023 is whenever I was finally able to get it open. I got it open with everything that George was talking about. So I used a lease to own program to buy my espresso machine and grinder. I did a personal loan to afford the trailer. I took out a startup business loan. I was just getting my fingers into everything. Anybody that would give me money, I needed it to get my business started. We even did a Kickstarter campaign. Like, we did everything we could. I am still paying for all that. Relatively high interest things, credit cards, lines of credit, all that sort of stuff. So here we are 3 years later. We've gone from $40,000 a year to $140,000 a year. We're on track to do $300,000 this year. But that we're doing about $5,500 a month in debt service. I could save $3,500 a month if we could get this $60,000 funded. That would open up so much cash flow for us to do a lot of other things. And then as we get past that 60,000 mark, now we can start getting into some other things that we want to do. I've got these graphic novels that I'd like to publish on a national scale. That is fully illustrated. It's just this whole like little character that we've created. This little poor boy, undead, like little coffee character. And that's really our whole branding. We're trying to be more of like a lifestyle brand as well as coffee. So I've got like all kinds of things showing these characters, these cartoon, like retro rubber hose cartoon world. But it's just all kinds of stuff that we've done. Um, and the funds would really get us uh, past this initial stage so that we could start pouring into like some other branding things that we want to do. Like we want to do some plushies, we want to do canned drinks. Um, I've got another location in mind. We wouldn't mind opening another trailer. There's a lot of different ways that we could grow. We have a 10-year plan, but we'd like to accelerate that with a little bit of extra funds. So any questions for me, I'd be more than willing to answer the best I can. So,
Yeah, thank you so much, Keith.
mhm.
Do we have any questions? We have one. What is your favorite coffee drink?
My favorite coffee drink is a mocha. I make mochas every day, but I'll drink a matcha, I'll drink a chai, whatever I'm in the mood for. We have a caramel apple butter chai that I've
Ooh,
named after one of our characters, the Caramel Knights. So,
nice.
yeah.
And we have another one. Well, we have two others. Are you selling the comics yet? And what's the most popular drink for your customers?
This comic is a test print.
Yes.
So I still have a few things that I need to fix inside of it. A few like errors and misprints that I'm working with the publishing company. And then I have to buy a barcode.
Mm.
And I'd like to publish it on a national scale. So we're kind of waiting to see what comes of this campaign before we start to really sell the comics. The other question, what was the other question?
And what's the most popular drink for your customers?
Most popular drink, I sell a lot of the Tuxedo, which is a white and dark chocolate mocha. And we sell
Ooh.
the absolute most, the most popular drink would be the Felix the Cat, is what we call it. So we work a lot with like public domain, things that are in the public domain, like Popeye, Betty Boop, all these retro animation. But Felix the Cat is like a honey, oat milk, half and half kind of mixed latte. It's very good.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Keith, for presenting. If you want to learn more about Poor Boy Coffee's investment offering, you can scan the QR code here. I'll leave it up for a few seconds before we move on to the next presentation. Okay. All right, great. Now we have Jess. That
Hi.
is, hi. All right. You ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I assume we all have a place in our local community that feels like home, where you go, that's not work, that's not home, a place where you feel really comfortable and you just love being there. I think for a lot of people, that's a coffee shop. And for the Webster community, that's the Rose Room. My name is Jess Sabine, and I opened the Rose Room with my husband in 2018. I've been in the service industry, specifically in coffee, for 18 years myself. And my husband had a big background in fine dining and had also been in the industry for almost 20 years. A couple years ago, we decided that this was going to be a women-owned business, and my husband left the business to pursue other things. And so I've been running this business since about COVID times, 2020-ish, on my own. And I've grown the team from just myself, my husband, and my mom to myself and 15 other women employees, which has been really beautiful. Our focus is on locally sourced foods, sustainable agriculture, supporting the local community. We make everything seasonally and in-house. So we make all of our breads, our sweets, we make our own oat milk, all of our syrups for our coffee menu, sauces, and our food. We are a limited service cafe, a limited service restaurant. So people order at the counter and then they'll come up to the bar for their coffee order, and we'll deliver the food when it's ready. We serve breakfast and lunch 7 days a week from 8 to 3. And like I said, we source locally whenever we can. All of our team is cross-trained. So everyone is a barista. Everyone knows how to prep all of the items on the menu. Everyone is trained how to cook on the hotline, and we have an open kitchen concept. So everything is right out there for the guests to see. Well, specialty coffee is just so important to me, and building a third space for community has really been the driver behind this business. We have been in Webster here for almost 7 years. And at the beginning of this year, 2025, we opened another location inside of a very popular greenhouse in Connecticut, where we serve our specialty coffee menu and scratch-made baked goods. And this summer, we're also expanding our business into a local farm in Connecticut, where we'll be serving coffees 3 days a week during some yoga classes and outdoor walks, and really building the community there on the farm, doing other events, and we're building out our catering side of our business as well. So we've been doing a lot of more high-end events, catering with locally sourced food, scratch-made items. It's just been a really beautiful unfolding of how the business has grown. But to reflect back what everyone else has said, we've taken out a lot of short-term, high-interest debt. My husband and I started this by putting all of our savings in and using a GoFundMe to, have donations come in from our family and friends. And we took a loan from my parents. And with COVID and the growth that we'd seen after that has been amazing. But it really, we started our business and we were just getting our feet under us, and we had to close for a little while and really start again. And I've been really diligently trying to pay down this debt. And it's been a really important thing for me to do that, to make sure that we're financially stable for many, many years to come. I've been making very smart moves on how to grow the business by building the catering part of this business and partnering with other small businesses instead of renting out other properties or, investing in putting large chunks of money towards investments that may or may not work out. So refinancing the debt will take most of this. And then I'd love some money to put aside for equipment investments, and to really have that money as a safeguard. Stuff is going to break. We all hear and we all know that. And rather than then having to put that money on a credit card or take out another short-term loan to fix something or buy something new, having that money set aside for that emergency fund would be amazing. And we've really been also building our social media presence, and we started paying somebody to take over all of our social media and help us grow in that way. And I'd love to put more money into growing the catering side of the business through social media, increasing that person's salary so that they could continue to help us do that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jess.
No problem.
And we have
Thank you.
some questions in the chat for you. One person says, really value your mission of local and employing all women. Do you find that most of your customers are all women as well? Or most of your customers are women as well?
Say 60 women, 40. Yeah, probably the majority, but not the most. We have a lot of young families that come here. We also have a lot of loyal regulars that are just men that come here alone. So
yeah, absolutely. And I have another one. What has been your favorite community event that's taken place at the Rose Room?
My favorite of all time? Oh my gosh. Last community event. Oh my God. Well, we have a really amazing event that we've done before that's coming up this weekend, which is the Summer Vibes Festival. And it's a collaboration with a local farm. They host vendors, they have live music, tons of outdoor play, and we're there serving food and drinks and just connecting with the community. And it's been a great way for us to be outside of our physical location and sharing everything, that we love about what we do, and inviting people to come visit us in Webster. So those have been really special.
That's fantastic. And last question here. What is your favorite drink on your menu?
My favorite? Cold brew.
Fair enough.
Straight up. But the most popular drink right now has been our strawberry matcha. We source our matcha from Nem Tea, which is a Massachusetts-based company, and it's very delicious. And we make our strawberry syrup in-house from fresh local strawberries. So that's been a fan favorite right now.
That sounds incredible. Well, thank you so much, Jess, for presenting today. Really appreciate it. If you want to learn more about the Rose Rooms investment offering, you can scan the QR code here. And next up, we have Slutty Vegan. We have Riata that is going to present. Riata, you ready?
Yeah, it was a struggle to get off mute.
No problem. Okay.
Hi everyone. I'm Riata Hall, owner of Slutty Vegan Birmingham. And here at Slutty Vegan, we're not just flipping burgers. We're flipping the script on your traditional comfort food. We're our plant-based powerhouse, redefining indulgence with bold flavor-packed creations that prove that veganism doesn't mean it has to be boring. Over the past 3 years, since our inception, we've developed a cult-like following of people from city over city, and it grows with every city that we enter into. Our viral powered food truck has a 98% sellout rate with every city that we touch, and our movement is ignited through it's rooted in community sustainability and swagger. With that, we're on the rise. In Birmingham. And so we feel that we still have something to offer to our guests, and that is more dining seating. So with Honeycomb, we're raising funds to try to build out the building next door, uh, introduce 40 plus more offerings in seating, an actual bar that's going to offer alcoholic beverages along with non-alcoholic with our signature drinks that we have created and are very delicious. So that will also offer 30% more revenue into our business. Our food trucks are already sold out, already booked out to October. So what we have going on is something that is very wonderful. Our burgers are delicious, especially with our signature slut sauce. Um, our crave worthy one night stand is packed full of our vegan bacons and everything. So we're here to move forward with that creation of giving people a luxury feel inside of this new space because we wanted to and allure mystery. We're trying to develop it as a speakeasy vibe that people will want to bring their influencers, do influencer workshops. Also, I would like to do entrepreneur workshops to help people create their visions and move and scale themselves forward as well. Because we're also deeply rooted inside our community, and helping others has always been a big passion of mine. I've been in the food industry for 16 years now, and have scaled up other businesses, and on top of on the rise of scaling my own. We're also in communications with our local arenas, and they're offering for to put our business inside of their arenas. So I know Slutty Vegan has something to offer to the community, and we wish that the community will also want a hand in it.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Riata. Appreciate it. Yeah, so excited to have Riata here today.
Do I
We have
have a few minutes left?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you were continuing.
No,
Yeah,
you're fine.
absolutely.
You're fine. We've also been a few key highlights. Also been mentioned in USA Today back in 2024 as 10 top best burgers. We've also been mentioned in on BET back in 2003. We also did a activation partnership with them along with a couple of movies. We did partnerships with them as well. And we've also been nominated as Best Vegan Burger, Best Top 100 out of Veg News. So what we have here, like I said, is something that's great. People crave our slut sauce and our slut dust because it's great to put on any dish. You don't have to be a vegan to eat our food. 90% of the people aren't. So if you're ever in town, just stop by.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much, Riata. I appreciate it. We have some questions in the chat for you. Um,
Okay.
someone is saying, I'm familiar with the Slutty Vegan brand. Is this a franchise location? And can you explain that relationship a little bit more?
Yes, we are a franchise inside Birmingham. I am the first to franchise that is from the Astro Corporation. We are the only business, only Slutty Vegan in Alabama, and we are the only entity other than the main location that has their own food truck. So that partnership is I worked inside of the brand, so I know all the ins and outs of what goes on in Slutty Vegan. I actually was over the Atlanta branch, Atlanta, New York, and Dallas. So I helped grow the business to where it is today and where it's moving to.
Awesome. Can you describe, we have another question here. Can you describe the signature slut sauce? The person says, I love a burger sauce.
So it's it's nothing you've ever tasted before, but it's also crave worthy. So put you in the mind of, uh, might be a bad analogy, but in the mind of a very upscaled Big Mac sauce that has a great Thai chili drizzle.
Awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Sounds incredible. Well, thank you so much, Riata. Appreciate your presenting. Last but certainly not least, is the team at Beto's Carnitas. And I've gotten permission from Tahiz, that one of the owners, to say that Tahiz is here and she is actually due in a few days. But she's still pitching at this honeycomb celebration. So excited to have you here. And alongside with her is Connor as well.
Hi, thank you, Anna Marie. And yes, I think we're like less than 2 weeks to go to have this baby. So we are very excited. And hopefully we can pitch a little bit for this other baby that started as a dream. Like, I think back in the pandemic, we started just like making some tacos and kind of like decided that carnitas was our favorite. I am original from Mexico City, and Connor is my husband. Is he's from here, but he actually loves tacos too and all Mexican culture. So we both are chefs. We have Michelin backgrounds, but we both love some comfort food, and tacos. It's kind of like what we love the most. The love for the carnitas came from my dad. He was not a chef. He was an engineer, but he would take me to eat always in Mexico City. And he unfortunately passed away 12 years ago. But we wanted to like bring some of what he left us back. So we decided to start Vetos Carnitas. So 1 year ago, we started the operation in New York City, in specifically in Queens, in some of the great breweries, and we started doing pop-ups. So we haven't opened a brick and mortar. We're actually starting right now. That's why we're here. We're trying to get the funds ready for renovations and to make this happen. Our goal right now, we're trying to get $25,000. Um, we're like in a very short timing right now. Today's our last day of campaign, and I know like being in New York City trying to open there's a lot of food businesses. You would be like, why would we invest in your business? Well, like I can tell you, we do this with a lot of love. We've had a lot of people coming to us from different backgrounds telling us like how good our food is, and I say this in a humble way, it is great. So yeah, that's why we're here. I'm gonna pass it to Connor because I would like him to talk about this a little bit too.
Yeah, so I hope everybody can hear me. So yeah, so we've been doing this for about over a year. We've done 50 plus pop-ups, and we've been doing some catering on the side throughout it as well. This is a big opportunity for us. As Thais had mentioned, we have a lease set up for New York City in the West Village. We're just trying to get all of our funds in order so that we can push forward and take this next step. This is a really big opportunity for us, and with that mentioned, our backgrounds in the Michelin dining. Thais worked at several different places, Love in Madison Park, Quinto Neal in Mexico City, Suite 777, and we actually met at the Nomad Hotel. So our quality and standards for food are very high, and we really wanted to kind of give that into what Betos Carnitas is, and really kind of pay homage to Thais's father, who passed away, like she had mentioned, and make his favorite tacos and show people what this really is about. It's not just a business for us. It's something to kind of bring people in and have those good memories. People from Mexico City, people that have visited Mexico City, to kind of immerse them in what we're doing. And so, we've been working diligently, with Honeycomb, with other people in our communities to help support this project. And we've been doing some social media networking. I've reached out to people to kind of come and see our product. There's a really great influencer, Rob Martinez. He gave us a quick little bit on his Instagram story not too long ago, and really kind of started to push our following on social media. And we've gotten some blurbs about us in Eater, and a full-blown article on Hellgate, which is a local paper in Queens. So we're confident that this is going to take off. We're excited to be having two babies at once, and hopefully it's not twins on Theis's end. We're hoping for just one child, but for our business to take off as well. So
Fantastic.
yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, Thais and Connor, and great pitch. I have a question in the chat for you. Why did you both decide to leave fine dining?
I can answer that for myself. I think after being fine dining all my career, like the last 14 years, I don't see it as living it 100%. I feel like we're taking a break, and hopefully in the future, once we're like established, we can do something on our own. I love fine dining, but I also think that this is real food, something that you would have every day. The other, it's an experience and it's amazing, and there's a lot of thought behind that.
Mhm.
But I think there is something very special about making a simple product, but the highest quality out there.
Fantastic. We have a suggestion in the chat for you all as well. Fine dining tacos must be done.
Definitely like a omakase, but with tacos, 100%.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, if there are no other questions from the chat, you can check out all of the entrepreneurs that pitched today at invest.honeycombcredit.com. We will be sending out this replay. If you weren't able to see all the pitches, do not worry. We'll make sure to send it out later today. And remember that you can invest with no investor transaction fees in honor of our 7th anniversary. So thank you everyone for attending. This has been fantastic. Great work to all the entrepreneurs. And have a great rest of your day, and happy 7th anniversary to the Invest Local movement. Thank you, everyone.